Remember playing tag and capture the flag, jumping rope as a kid? Times have changed, apparently. This is a mini treadmill for toddlers. Parents and toy companies say the kid-sized fitness equipment gets their children moving and that it's great for getting overweight kids to slim down. But whatever happened to playing outdoors, and is this really good for these children? Joining me now, Dr. Jennifer Walden. She is with the Lenox Hill Hospital here in New York City. Hi, doctor.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. All right, so that was sort of a fun intro, but the truth is we don't know for sure whether these kids are giving up tag and capture the flag so that they can do treadmills and ellipticals, but this is a growing trend with young children. I mean, as young as like 3 and 4, parents putting them on the treadmill. Is this a good idea?
Well, I think it's a good idea for kids in the older age range of maybe over 5 or 6 years old, and it's not a complete substitute for exercise, but kids have a higher rate of childhood obesity. They basically have a more sedentary lifestyle, and nowadays more parents are both out of the house. So kids are alone at home on Facebook watching TV for hours on end. If we can substitute that to get their heart rate up and get them moving, I think that's the benefit.
But why is that the substitution? Why not? You know, if I had a nickel for every time I asked my mom, what can I do? And the answer was, go outside and play. And then I did. And I met other little children, and I got exercise, and I got fresh air, and there was social bonding and development of social skills. None of that comes with being on a treadmill.
I totally agree. I think children's programs that are integrated into schools are best, but did you know there's a decline in physical education integrated into public schools, and that's a disaster because exercise encourages mental health, it improves academic performance, it encourages weight control, and starting at a young age is very important for those things. So this should not be taken as a complete substitute, but maybe just a way for if both parents are gone and a child is at home alone or with a babysitter watching several kids, it's something for them to do. And these programs, basically you can hook them into the TV and the computer, and once you start cycling and running and that stops.
I know, but you hook it into the computer, you hook it into the TV, once again, you know, the child is doing no more than, yes, they're being more active than when they just watch television, but why even provide it as an option? If it's not in your house, perhaps your child would be more likely to go out and play a good old-fashioned game of kick the can. You know, one child psychiatrist said, Doc, that he thinks this is more a symbol of parents' anxiety over having overweight children than it is for the children. That
might be true. And younger children, younger than 3 or 4, I don't think it's going to be a good substitute for them because, like you're saying, Megan, they need camaraderie, they need play games and games that stimulate their mind, and they really don't have the attention span to stay on a treadmill. I get bored on a treadmill after 20 minutes. Can you imagine a 5-year-old?
I know. I totally agree. Yeah. Although this is sweeping the nation. I watched Caesar the dog whisperer. He says you can put your little dog on the treadmill. I mean, Bailey and Bosch are like whoosh, off the back. But you know, I thought it was interesting because it could help a lot of children. You mentioned the obesity rate. 16% of children are obese, 15% are overweight, and in particular, it could help children. One woman in this article points out she has an autistic son.
Sure.
He's not, you know, the autistic children often have irregular social skills and don't fare well in the group activities. This might be good for children like those in particular.
It absolutely might. There are a lot of kids, if you can kind of remember back to 6th grade, that if they were overweight, they were uncomfortable with exercising in a team format, and they basically shied away from that anyway. And it might be good for those types of people who are going to slim down and then feel better about going in and playing kick the can or t-ball or whatever it is with the other kids who are in more shape.
That's true. It's when you're an overweight teenager, you don't necessarily want to be seen running around the block and you know, with all your extra weight. Take it from me.
I know.
Dr. Walden, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right.